Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Truth Podcast. My guest today is Cyn Meadows. She sold over $1 million in products on Amazon in her first year, using a truly unique method where she sells other people's products for them, which requires zero money up front for product investment. She earns 6 figures in commission on those sales. I want to welcome you to the show, Cyn Meadows.
Hey there. So excited to be here.
Oh, I'm excited to have you. This is going to be awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, tell me, a first question I always ask people, and everybody, you know me, time for the glasses to go. There we go. Now I'm blind, as everyone knows. At some point I'll invest in contacts and that will be a thing. Okay. So I want to ask you, the first question I always ask the people on the show is, what made you want to become an entrepreneur? What inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
Oh, wow. Well, I tell you, the driving force, several reasons. One, I want to early retire from my job. And obviously I need money to do that. So I'm tired of working for everyone else. And I work independently in sales in general. So I, have my own schedule, but it's just meeting those numbers and the goals and the, KPIs. It's just, I'm over it. I'm over it. So I just want to do my own thing. So that started it all. And then what got me into e-commerce was I had a neighbor that was doing Facebook selling for children's clothing and flat killing it. And she was a young mother with 3 small children at home and running this $1 million business in just like a year and a half. And I'm like, okay, if she can do it with her hands full like that, I know I can do it too. So that kind of really started fueling the fire under me to really start going into the e-commerce route.
That's amazing. And this $1 million thing, and you're looking at this like, wow. And I know I can do that.
Yeah.
That's really good. Another thing I usually ask everybody, because everybody has a struggle. Everybody has things that come up in their experience. And I wondered if you had any struggles or barriers or obstacles, whether internal or externally, that you faced as you were trying to go this other route or forge your own path.
How much time we got? Because I had
7
struggles
days.
galore. I could probably fill it all up, honestly. Yes. Where do I start? Okay. So with my neighbor that was selling she had a Shopify store for her children's clothing line. Facebook selling, but I think she finally moved it on Shopify. But anyway, so I started a Shopify store as well. Okay. Because she was doing it. I can do it. Right. So I had a business partner and we both set up a Shopify store. We couldn't decide for the longest time what kind of product to sell. So that's the first struggle. And that's a very important topic that probably we could do an entire show on by itself. But finding the product, and the key was, and this is not what we did, but this is a key learning after the fact, is that you want to pick products that there are not so many choices to, right? So we chose women's jewelry, high-end costume jewelry, some real, mostly high-end costume. Well, to suit women's taste, you've got to have a gazillion different items available. So we didn't quite think that part through well enough. And so that required tons and tons and tons of inventory just to suit a few people's taste, right? So that was a struggle for sure. And basically that whole business just failed because it trying to find good suppliers and realizing how much money it took to support a Shopify business because no one knows it's there. You have to drive your traffic to it, right? So that was pretty much a bust. And I also realized that it's hard to do business with a business partner, and I would be better making my own decisions and kind of going the route that I felt more comfortable with. So that's when I started looking at Amazon. And I've already said, I wanted to early retire. So in my mind, Amazon was the last hope that I had. And then the struggles with Amazon are, and currently still are for many people, it's difficult. It is difficult to learn. It is extremely hard to navigate to different scenarios and situations. I hate to say this with my name attached to it, but Amazon is the e-commerce mafia, right? So you play by their rules or you don't play, and they will flat kick you off the playground. So that in itself is tremendous obstacles and things that you have to learn how to navigate and get around. And then just the process of how you sell on Amazon. So there are basically 4 different methods, and that would be retail arbitrage. And that means that you go out to stores like Walmart or wherever and find things on sale. So you physically drive to the store, go around, shop, pick up sale items, and then you send them into Amazon to sell or list there along with 100 other or more sellers. And you're trying to beat them out, for the customers to buy your product versus theirs. Okay. So time consuming, tremendous amount of, that's just totally the worst way to sell on Amazon. And then the second way is online arbitrage. Same process. You're just shopping online versus physically driving to the store. Same obstacles, same problems. Other sellers will drop their price by a penny, and then it goes into a price war where it's a domino effect where everybody's racing to the bottom, right? So a product that you may have ordered over 100% potential profit commission that you would make off of it by the time you list it, and all the other sellers jumped on those same deals they found online. It may have been 3 sellers, and now you've got 48 sellers by the time you get the product, label it, ship it into Amazon, and get it listed. So now the product that was over 100% commission you're probably in the negative at this point. You're not even going to make any money. And I actually have 7 cases sitting in my floor right now from a year and a half ago of product that I still have that I can't return. And that exact thing happened to me. And it just the price has never gotten back up there because it's so many sellers that it's just sitting here. I need to take it to some kind of donation center and just get something, a tax write-off maybe. But and then there's the other option, which is wholesale. And wholesale just means these are companies that only sell to people at a wholesale price, and then they turn around and list all those products on Amazon as well. Same exact problem, same exact situation. You're just getting it from a different method or sourcing it by a different method. So same situation. And then the last option, or supposedly that most people know about, is called private label. And that's where you create your own item. You design it, you name it, you change some kind of characteristic, probably something very close to something already being sold on Amazon. But the problem with that is you have to source it from China. That's what every guru teaches you. Source your products from China so you can get them cheap and you can make a profit. Well, the problem with that is there are so many scams out there of other businesses that may not even be a business, and you have to wire that money overseas. So you're sending thousands of dollars up front, and you don't even know if the product you're going to get back is of any quality. It's probably not going to even be the specification that you asked for. I mean, all you have to do is Google Amazon forums and just read for months and weeks, years of all the problems that people experience that way. So those were all the struggles that I encountered. And I was knowing that I was wanting to retire, and I had a small nest egg, right? So let's just say I had my plans to invest $5,000 is really all I was brave enough to invest in. But I just wasn't willing to give that to a foreign country because obviously the first 3 options were not an option for me and didn't work out. So then I decided, okay, I'm going to find a USA manufacturer I can work with. I know I'm going to lose money. That's okay. At least I'm speaking to someone that's speaking English. I can work with them. I can learn the process, get my feet wet, get comfortable, develop my skills of negotiating, contracts or whatever I needed to do, whatever the process was. But at least I would figure it out here to where I could manage it. And then I would be skilled enough to then, source from China and feel more comfortable doing so, right? Well, it ended up that the first manufacturer that I worked with turned out to be so fabulous. I'm like, this is awesome. I am never going to China for anything. So I have just built a fabulous relationship with him. And that's where the $1 million in sales came in my very first year. I had zero experience. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And I built a good working relationship, and we both worked together to figure it out from there. So in a nutshell, that's kind of how I got to where I am right now.
That's amazing. I want to clear something up. So what exactly do you do? That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What exactly do you do, and how can you tell us how you do it, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. So my method is just different. The four ways I mentioned before, RAOA, wholesale, and private label, are the only ways that other people, any Amazon seller, really knows about. So I won't say I invented it, because certainly there are other people that do what I do, but on a very, very, very small level. But what I do is I represent other companies. So I made a partnership. I'll say partnership. We just basically agreed I would handle his Amazon account for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was not on Amazon at all. I had my own Amazon account. I list his products for him. So I act as if I'm his company, and I handle it all. I am his Amazon account manager, is a good way to say it, or an e-commerce specialist. I mean, you can make up any word you want to do, but basically I handle all of his Amazon sales and the entire Amazon process, including customer service. And I earn a commission off every single sale that occurs on Amazon. So on that $1 million in sales, obviously, I earned a 6-figure income last year just on his profit, or his orders, or his sales alone. Yeah. Pretty good income.
Really, really amazing. Okay, well, another question about maybe struggles. So you talked about the struggles, the external struggles, the struggles from the outside of your business. Did you have internal struggles, any fears, or anything like that happened to you?
My husband's so mad at me. He's like, oh my gosh. I would sit and cry. Why can't I figure this out? Because I was trying so hard doing the first 4 methods, and they were just such a struggle, and I was just losing money. And I'm like, how do these people do it? I am smart. I am worthy. I work hard. Why can't I figure this out? And it was a punch in the stomach. I'm going to tell you, I'm honest with you. It was difficult. And it took me probably a month of pouting and whining and crying and just really soul searching. This is my last hope. What am I going to do? And the depression set in and all that. So I just kept going back to, these other people are doing it. Why can't I figure it out? What is it about me that's different? If they can do it, I can do it. And I just kept asking myself that same question over and over and over. And that's when I finally just said, put on your big girl pants and get your butt out there and figure it out. Sink or swim. Go start talking to people. If I go and try to talk to a business and build this relationship, to manage their Amazon for them, if I've never seen them before and it completely flops, I'll never see them again. I'm not going to die. Just start talking to people, right? So that was my inner struggle, is getting the confidence to know that I could do it and that I was smart enough to do it. And then getting over my fear of just finally going and talking to someone. And going up to that very first door, I literally was standing there shaking, and I had written out exactly what I was going to say. And, when they opened the door, I'm like, total fear. My legs were locked. My knees were not locked. And I thought I was going to pass out. But, luckily you can probably tell I'm a little bit of a talker. So I just kind of fluffed my way through it. And he ended up being a really nice person. So he was easy to talk to. So that kind of really settled the tension, and it made it flow a little bit better. So basically that was my inner struggle.
Wow.
But,
And the purpose of the podcast is to help the next generation of entrepreneurs, or people that are struggling with those type of things, either system things or internal struggles or those type of things. As a successful entrepreneur now, what would you what kind of advice would you give someone that's just starting out or someone that's kind of stuck at this point?
In e-commerce in general, or just any kind of entrepreneur?
I would say go with what you know. I mean, e-commerce would be great. Let's look at it from that angle.
Well, probably is really the same answer for both, because
Mhm.
it's really kind of, I'll just say it a different way than what I already said. You have to have the resolve that you are good enough and that you can figure it out. And here's kind of from my story. I tried one thing, it didn't work. Did I give up? No. That just made me more determined and more stubborn to try something else, right? So, and I would try it in little pieces. It wasn't like I needed to go and throw my whole $5,000 into one bucket. It's like, okay, let's just test it with $200 here, $500 there. And because again, I just didn't feel like that I was confident enough and was skilled. Obviously I wasn't skilled because everything I did was a disaster. So take things in little bites and little steps and have little wins along the way. And that builds your confidence and your skill level to where you can make bigger and better decisions, down the line. So that would probably be my best advice to people, just as a general concept when you're trying something new. And, e-commerce is just, the opportunities are unreal. I mean, the opportunity that's out there to build a business online in whatever method you're doing, podcasting, Amazon, funnel marketing, is just limitless. So within now, let's see, that would have been, that was 17 when I started the Shopify store. So really in the last 2 years, 2.5 years max, where I am now compared to where I was just 2 years ago, I so regret not starting this 20 years ago, because I would have not had to even worry about retirement. I would be retired and on a beach now. So it's that kind of potential. So go with your gut and don't wait. Do not wait until tomorrow or next month or after Christmas or next year when things will get better. There's never a better time. So that's really, I think, key to believe in yourself and go for it. Start doing something today that's going to make a difference in your life tomorrow.
I love it. I love it. And I had a video that said this, and I was talking about winning the day. And it's like, tomorrow isn't promised to you, and yesterday's in the rearview mirror.
Right.
And so all you have is today, and to do everything you can physically, exercise, read a little bit in a book every day, the little bitty things that add up to habits and that add up to, just becoming a better you. I think it's about that. I think the entrepreneurial journey is discovering what it is in yourself that's broken and fixing that just as much as you're fixing your business. So I think the two go hand in hand. What do you think about that? Do you think that you're kind of a mirror of your business?
I do, because as you were saying that, I think about myself as a child, a teenager, I'll just say, stubbornness was still there. I'm going to do it my way, and don't tell me I can't do something, because I'll show you different and prove you wrong. And it's those things that are in my DNA, I'll say, that is really fueling my success and my drive and ambition now. So some of that I think you may already have, or most people have in them. Some may need to be nurtured to a higher level. And even if you don't have it, if you are like the entrepreneurial spirit, is what I'm trying to talk about. But if you don't have any, or you think you don't have it, all you have to do is be hungry for something and want something so bad. If there's a will, there's a way. So you may have an entrepreneurial spirit and you just don't know that that's what it's called, or whatever term you want to put on it: drive, ambition, eagerness, whatever, resolve,
Right.
stubbornness, whatever.
Stubbornness.
I'm just not willing to quit.
I think that, and I don't know what your opinion is on this, but I think that everybody that I have talked to so far, I really believe that they've had this in them since they were kids and since they were young people very early on. They knew that they wanted something different, or there was something different about them. Do you feel like, from what you've seen, the entrepreneurial spirit, as you called it, and I feel that too, do you think that's always been there in most people that become successful, or that, at least that's what I see? I'm going to ask you if you see that same thing.
I do. I do think to a certain degree, like I mentioned before, it's in your DNA. And the reason that's how I came up with my training program. I'll just say the name of it is called Sevenfigure DNA, because I've got
Nice.
the results of the 7 figures from the Amazon business in sales. But again, it comes back to the DNA of me, and just refusing to give up and continuing to push and push and push until I found a way, completely out of the box way of thinking, to do Amazon that nobody else does, right? So it's like, I'll figure it out one way or another. It might not be the same thing everybody else does, but it'll be something that works for me. So being willing to adapt and do something different, be brave enough to blaze a new trail. I think that those are qualities that you need, and that will help you along the way as well.
I think so too. I totally agree with you on that. I think that there's some kind of a fire deep inside of you that just comes out. And as I was a kid, I remember always asking why, and always wondering, hey, why do I got to go to school again? Why do I got to do this like you do it? And
Yeah.
those type of things. But
well, you know, I'll go ahead and share something else personal that also drives and fuels me. And it goes back to, if you really are hungry for something and really have a mission that just gives you that much more energy and enthusiasm and fire to make sure that it happens.
excuse me.
But both of my parents passed away with cancer at the age of 59. Both of them were sick with cancer and never saw their retirement check, never cashed in their 401k. Both of them were in the hospital when we had to facilitate the retirement process and do all their paperwork for them. And we, as the children, got their 401k checks and had to deposit it into the bank. That was a very sobering thing for me, because it's like, they're only 59, and this happened 7 years apart, not at the same time. But for it to have repeated 7 years later was another very sobering fact, that I'm not going to work until I'm 65 or 70 or whatever the magic number is now. They keep pushing it back. It's probably 80 by now. I don't know. But I just refuse to do it. And because I've got that life experience, that is the true underlying driving force of why I want to early retire. So I want to enjoy my life. I want to be able to travel and, do things and own my own time. So that goes back to that hunger and that goal that you have, that you truly want to achieve. You'll find the energy and the resolve to get it done.
I love it. And that was your why. I mean, that's a
Totally.
deeply personal why. And that's a lot of what I like to bring about on the podcast, is to discover what the underlying why is, the tragedy and the things that happen to people that form their the fire that's in them, that the reason they just will never give up. Mine, I mean, I have my own as well, with the kidney failure and all that, and wanting, even as a young kid, just asking, why do we have to do it this way? This makes no sense to me. Even at work, I still work full time, and so
I do too, right now.
It's something else, because I mean, I know at work I'm a totally different person than I am here. And so the people at work are seeing the videos and they're like, oh my gosh, this is really good, and I just get this burning desire to do my own thing and to break away from what everyone else thinks is how you make a living.
Well, good point you said that. So I'll kind of touch on that topic as well. Obviously, with my success, I'm trying to get everyone else in my entire family to go into e-commerce or be an entrepreneur, right? And I'm like, do this. It's so wonderful. It's so exciting. And you can make a lot of money. And they're looking at me like, no. And I'm like, but why? Even my own kids, I'm like, you don't have to work for someone else. You can be successful at 21, 23 years old. But it's not their thing. It's not their thing. So it doesn't have to be necessarily e-commerce. It doesn't have to be entrepreneur. It's just whatever your thing is. So it's the same principles. It's the same underlying drive and ambition and, resolve to get you to that point. But it's, focus on how it works for you. And e-commerce, Amazon, and marketing products outside of Amazon is a second way to make money. That just happens to be my thing. So I'm pretty happy with it.
It's funny you say that, because that goes back to what we were talking about having the entrepreneurial spirit or you don't. Mm-hmm. Because I have that same thing, in my family and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I want to do this and I want to do, you should just get a job.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't get it. And it's hard to find comfort, I'll say, or be able to relate when they don't understand what you do. And but I've gotten to the point where I just don't talk about it, and I do talk about it with other like-minded people. That is what fires me up, because now we're brainstorming together. We're both doing the same things, and that will really light your fire. If you're talking to people that don't get it and you're like just giving you lip service, yeah, it sounds good, good for you, it's going to demotivate you. So just don't even bring it up to those people. That would be another wonderful tip.
And the thing is that, the fire, see, that's what I love about this, is because I get to talk to like-minded people. I get to meet new people that, could be a really cool friendship or partnership later on.
Yeah.
That way. And I'm ecstatic when I talk to people like this, because it gets me going. I've had a long day. I've been up since probably 3:00 in the morning, something like that. I have no idea what time it is now. But that's the thing. I want to do this. This is something I want to do, because when you speak to someone and you know that they know the same things you do, the same books that they've read, the same things that they've learned, and all these things, it's just so exciting to meet people that have been on this journey just like you have.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll say this about the time investment. When I first started working with this manufacturer, of course, again, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I had no experience, no skills, zero, zilch, nada. So I had to figure this whole thing out from top to bottom. So I started writing processes. What did I say? How did I say it? How many meetings did I have? And I'm like, okay, because now I can go back and repeat this myself, for the next person, and just, hone my own skills, right? So long story short, I'm working 20 hours a day, first in my regular job, and then I'm coming home, and every available TV is just turned off now. We even cut off DirecTV. I don't even watch it anymore because I have no time. I'm always on the computer and working, and I love it. But here's the thing: it started with the 20 hours, and that was probably a good 6 to 8 months, and then I had my process down, right? So for this particular manufacturer, now I'm doing other things, but for this particular manufacturer that I work with and support him on his Amazon business, I literally work maybe, and this is a stretch, 2 hours a week. And I'm making a 6-figure income on this 2 hours a week. But did it almost kill me to get to this point? Absolutely. But now I've got the process of smooth plug and play. It's like a well-oiled machine. So anyone else that, were interested to come in and start following the process, it would be easy peasy because I've already done all the hard work for you. So, but that just goes to show you the opportunity there is and the power behind just supporting other people in their business by listing their products for them or marketing their products for them, again, on or off Amazon. So, yeah. It's amazing.
It really is. When you're talking about time, I was just blown away by what you said, because I had this discussion basically today, the whole week. I said, I just have no time.
Yeah.
There's no time for anything. I've got pizza sitting in the living room. I haven't had time to eat it. We had it delivered. My wife has probably had some. I have not. I mean, it's just like that. And like you said, there's no time for TV. There's no time for anything else. There's, there's just no time. And I totally get that. I come back to 105 Facebook notifications and, people messaging me all the time about, hey, I really like what you're doing. I would love to be on your show and all this. And it's
It's
wonderful.
exhilarating. Yes, it's
Yeah.
exhilarating. I love it.
And you're so happy
me.
doing it that it doesn't feel like work. But yet again, because you're working another job, I'm going to ask you this. I have to. When you were working another job, when you're doing what you're doing, did it feel like the job was sucking your life out of you and taking all your time?
Oh yes, oh yes. And I'm still working my job, by the way. I'm hoping to retire the end of this year. We're just trying to, I want to be completely comfortable and settled with some, like, try to be debt free. It won't be quite debt free, but my husband works, so that's good. I want to get kind of debt free. So I'm really trying to work on that goal, and then it'll be easy peasy and I won't have to worry about anything. So, but yeah, that's a little scary too, just to not have that security blanket. But I already know what I'm capable of, and that's not my only client either. So I've got several other business opportunities that I've now worked on. Since that's all worked out, I only have to spend 2 hours a week. All this extra time now is on other business ventures. So one other one I'll just really quickly mention that. So it doesn't have to be a product maker or a manufacturer. I have a friend that's a mortgage broker, right? So he and his friend invented a product for his truck. And it just happened to be a fluke kind of thing that they're like, man, I wish it did this. And so they invented a product to sell this. And so they came to me and said, I know you sell on Amazon. We're mortgage brokers. We don't know what we're doing. So we invented a product. You take it and you market it for us. So I'm partners with another business called Rockstar Funnels, and my business partner and I, that's the marketing outside of Amazon portion. So I'm using taking his product and managing his Amazon business for him. But then in my other business venture in Rockstar Funnels, we have put this product and his company on the map. I mean, this was not a previous business. There was no reviews. There was no website. There was nothing, because it was just two guys that invented a product, right? So we have we've gone from zero to the moon on just web presence for him. So it doesn't even have to be a big company that you're dealing with when you do e-commerce. You can just help an individual person that just invented a product on their own, just simply didn't know how to market it. So,
that's amazing too. And here's a question for you. Have you ever done like an online tried to market an online, like an online course or something like that?
Well, so glad you asked. Yes. We do have a course, and it's called Sevenfigure DNA. And so that training teaches other entrepreneurs how to do this distributor type model of Amazon. And also other segments of that will teach you how to diversify those sales into a second revenue stream outside of Amazon. Because again, you don't want your hands held behind your back and being prisoner of Amazon. They control all of that business process. So you want to have that business presence there to give you the validity and credibility of being a real business. But then you want to market it outside of Amazon as well, which could be just Google AdWords, YouTube, Facebook advertising, your own web presence, funnel marketing, process. So that really is a way that you can make more money with the same product, just outside of Amazon, in addition to the Amazon sales. So for example, this particular customer, my first client that I worked with and sold $1 million worth of products, I actually tripled his existing business at that time just by putting it on Amazon. So now we are in the process of funnel marketing and marketing it outside of Amazon. And I've already crunched some numbers. So it will be probably at least another 10% increase, just from early estimates of how we're going to be able to increase this business again, just by the additional avenues that we're going to use to market his products. So I'm just building my relationship with him deeper and deeper and deeper, and allowing him to make more money, which also makes me more money. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, and that's what it is a lot of times in entrepreneurship, and especially in the online space. It seems like JV ventures. It's called joint ventures. Sorry, yes. I'm getting all the technical online terms, but a lot of that affiliate marketing, you can really make a lot of money doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's powerful when you have synergy with another individual that has your vision and you have their vision, and you love what they do, they love what you do, and you guys help each other.
Right.
And I'm losing this here.
You mentioned affiliate marketing. So that is, you can interweave any of those other types of entrepreneurship into what you're currently doing. So as an example, as an affiliate marketer, we can now offer these same products out on other websites or just to other e-commerce entrepreneurs and say, hey, you promote our products, we'll give you a commission off the sale. So, technically, I guess you could call me an affiliate marketer. I'm just handling all of his Amazon account. But in an essence, it is an affiliate marketing type process because I'm earning a commission off every sale. So what I do is a lot more involved than that. Most affiliate marketers, don't get as much commission as what I get, but it's still, again, it's an opportunity for you to interweave all kinds of processes and systems into one little simple concept to make money multiple ways.
Yes, that's what you have to do. Multiple streams of income. I totally agree with you on that one. Do you do affiliate? Do you have affiliations on your product?
We don't yet, but it's probably something in the works. We definitely, on my inventor friend, that's going to launch next week. So we haven't set up anything like that for him yet. Now on my course that I have with my business partner, the Sevenfigure DNA training course, definitely affiliates. We want affiliates to help promote our course. So that helps us get the exposure out there and get people into our program. So we will definitely be working with it in that aspect.
So if someone wanted to take that course, they want to learn about how to become an entrepreneur in that area, in the e-commerce space, how do they find you?
The best way is to go start with our Facebook group. And there is one is our business page of Sevenfigure DNA. And then that's just the business page. And then the group, which is fantastic, and that has a lot more information. It's a title here, so I'm going to read it. Build Your Amazon Empire by Unleashing Your Sevenfigure DNA. So that is a group, a community, and you can just click search, put that in your Facebook search bar, and it will come up, and then you can join the group, and then we're already talking about a new launch that we're doing for a new training. A new kickoff is coming in about another week or two. So
we will have links to all of that right below the video here. If you're watching this on YouTube, just check below for the information. If you want to be a part and want to take this course, then there will be a link to that. There'll be a link to the Facebook group and how you can get a hold of Cyn. And I wanted to ask you one that's saying, trying to figure out how to ask this in a succinct way. Let's put it that way. So reflecting back on your success, do you have times where you don't even believe where you're at?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so funny. I did an interview 3 weeks after, or maybe 4 weeks after I first started working with my manufacturer. And this guy wanted to interview me on my success. And I had posted in somewhere on a Facebook group that I had sold $18,000 worth. And I was so excited. And I go back now and look at that video and I just die laughing because I'm like, it's heartwarming at the same time because I thought $18,000 then was completely unrealistic. And how did little old me do that? Right. And now fast forward a year and now it's at 1 million. So I still have to pinch myself, and I'm grateful every day. I give thanks every single day for where I have been able to evolve to, and never take it for granted at all. And it is amazing. It is truly amazing. And I'm not the biggest one out there. That's the other amazing part. I met people just this year at a conference that people were selling over 20 million a year. Over 20 million a year.
Wow.
And I do have a friend that sells over 1 million a month. So I'm not the biggest fish in the pond by any stretch of the imagination.
$1 million a month?
Yes. Now let me tell you what he does. He sells over 1 million a month, but he is private label. So that means he orders all of this inventory from China. So as he sells it, he has to reorder more inventory. What does that take? Cash.
Mm-hmm.
So he is rolling at least $900,000 a month just to sell $1 million a month. You see that process there?
Yeah, I don't like that process as much.
So no. And so I'm like, how, in order to start that, you got to start with the 5,000 and grow to 10,000 and 20,000 and, really grow fast and invest every single penny that you have into your business using that private label model. And they even teach you, don't take a single penny out, period, for yourself until at least after your first year. Only then, if you've been successful. I was spending money my very first commission. I'm like, whoop, it's time to go shopping. And because I didn't have any money invested. And that's a little bit of a joke, but I mean, definitely I've started paying off bills. I'm like, this is going to be my ticket to freedom. So, did a little remodeling on the house, bought new furniture. I mean, it's been a lifestyle change for us, which is freaking wonderful. But I don't have all my money tied up in that. I'm instantly making money. I don't have to invest any. That's the beauty of this entire program. So going back to that first 3-week example and looking back at that video and my enthusiasm at that time, $18,000 in sales, I made 2,700 commission in just those 3 weeks. So the value of the commitment to invest in yourself, to learn a new program or a true method that's going to benefit you to possibly a 6-figure income in the next year is worth every freaking penny, honestly. And I wish I paid more for what I charged for my course in other courses that did not teach me anything, because I failed at all the attempts that they were trying to teach you. So it's just very eye-opening. And when you reflect back over where you started and where you have come, and then to turn another 45 or 90 degrees and look at where you can go. So it's powerful. It's exciting. It is thrilling. And, I don't say all this to brag, but I struggle so bad. And that's why I try to help other people, because this type of training that I give is not out there. Number one, the process is not even being taught. And the other thing is, people also don't have the one-on-one connection with the person that's teaching the course. That was a cha-ching. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Cha-ching! We just made another sale on Amazon notification.
Oh, that's amazing! Right on the show, we just heard another sale.
Yeah, that was more commission for me. But anyway, I forgot now what I was saying though. So
I would, if I was you, I would turn the volume up on that. No, I don't think I'd ever get sick of that sound.
No, you don't. Trust me. But yeah, so it's just, I know I was saying about not bragging. It's really, what I do in my courses, we have live video coaching calls just like this. And we do live strategy calls. Like, okay, let's talk about where you are. Where do you want to go? What can I do to help you? How do you see your business in the next year or 5 years, And it's one-on-one conversations. And all these thousands of dollars I spent prior to that on these other gurus and training courses, and even mentoring one-on-one coaching had to be done through Facebook Messenger. I couldn't even talk to the person live face-to-face. You cannot type out hour conversation in Facebook Messenger. And oh, it was so frustrating. And I said, if I ever make it and if I ever do a course, it's going to have that personal interaction, because it's lacking and it's what's needed. And maybe it's my personality type, but I just want my questions answered. Talk to me, just have a conversation. And so that's the difference of what I offer versus what I see being offered.
I love it. I love it. And I like your business model because there's not that much investment up front. You're not rolling money over and having an inventory of any kind. I really like your model. I think it's something that people could benefit from. And if you're watching this and you're excited about what you're hearing, I would go and I click the link below and get started with Cyn and start making some cha-chings.
There you go. I love it. Best sound in the world.
It is. All right. Is there anything else you want to tell the listeners out there before we wrap this up?
I think just, explore what you think would be good for you. And especially if you're already in the Amazon model or space, I'll say, think about the time that you've been investing, preparing and ordering and searching for those deals and searching for the perfect product, which is what every other guru teaches you to do. You've got to find the product first. And they even teach you to find the best-selling product so you can get your piece of the pie, when that is only inviting all this other competition, to be against you. That's the craziest advice ever. So if I could just leave you with one thought process, it's, there is a better way. I created a new way for me. It is working fabulously, and you would absolutely be crazy to continue to pursue RAOA, wholesale or private label, and not at least explore this option to save yourself all this amount of time and all the money that you've been blowing and rolling over just to try to sustain your business. It's a risk-free opportunity to try the method because you don't have to invest in product inventory. So you'd be crazy not to. Would love to work with you.
It sounds amazing. I really appreciate you being a guest this week, Cyn, and we're going to put all that stuff in the YouTube below the description. And everybody else, we really appreciate you watching this week on the Entrepreneurial Truth Podcast, and we will see you next week.